The Customization Database is a application that we've been using in place of Arial, which was the older or previous customization database that we use basically for mods and styles. And Titania now covers more than just mods and styles. It covers bridges, converters, and mods and styles, as well as official team tools. And basically, Titania does what Arial did, although it has new features, and it's built to work, off of the code base of just phpBB.com. It can work as standalone. Okay, so first off, Titania was built to ensure that we could fix some issues in Arial, such as finding contributions in Arial, which was a bit difficult for some new users. Some users ended up resorting to using the mod releases form, and that has a search function. That has a form search function, and they would use that instead of Arial because Arial's search function wasn't very advanced, and people would get a little confused, and they would just end up using that. And so Titania also comes packaged with an improved search functionality, so you can search for contributions, you can find contributions, and whatever you're looking for, you can even search by author. It's a much better searching functionality than was previously available. Also, the category listings are more prominent. They're easier to access and to navigate. And here I have just a quick screenshot of what kind of the category structure is. We have subcategories. So, for example, if you're looking at modifications, you see a description, modifications to phpBB, and then here you have, click that, you get cosmetics, tools, security, etc. And this wasn't available in Arial, and we feel that it helps with organization and helping new users to understand where they're going, and it definitely helps with organization. And screenshots and a demo link are available to be shown for a contribution so that people can see, okay, I want to download a contribution. Well, what does it look like in action? I want to see a screenshot of it, so they can view screenshots if the author uploads them. As well as if they want to see a demonstration of it, they can view a board with or any demonstration that includes this contribution, and that allows for them to get a better understanding of how it's used and how it works, and then they can decide for themselves if that's what they want to use. Also, something new with Titania that wasn't available in Arial is that the community is allowed to download previous revisions available to the public. So for each contribution, for example, I have a screenshot of my mod, legend repositioning, and some revisions. And so anyone could just download any of these revisions. And where that does come in handy is if someone is running a version of phpBB that is not the most recent, although we do recommend that you upgrade to your most recent version of phpBB, and maybe there's a reason why they can, and the latest version of the mod may not work specifically with this version, they can form a diff between one of the versions and the latest version of the mod, and then they can install that diff by hand and decide, if there are any conflicts with editing, then they can decide what to edit and how to proceed to make it work with their modified boards, because phpBB is all about customization, and we have to facilitate that, and this is a good way of doing that. Also, the download link on the contributions page is much more vibrant. It's a green, big button with an icon next to it, whereas in Arial, I can't exactly remember what it looked like, but I know it wasn't that visible. So it's more prominent. It's I definitely feel that it's a lot easier to pick out, and for a new user who's looking to download a mod for the first time, or someone who's just trying to have some ease of use, I think that definitely comes in handy. Also, if someone likes a mod or any contribution, and they want to keep up with the updates, and they want to make sure that they're always up to date with the latest version, they can subscribe to this contribution and receive notifications of whenever a new version is released, or if, hopefully not, if there are any security issues that need to be addressed, they will be notified of this as well. So for author usability, we've improved a lot of different author tools. So contributions may contain more information than Arial had allowed. This includes screenshots. You can supply a demo URL in a specific location on the contribution page. And we even allow co-authors to be added, and they have permission to edit the modification or contribution as well. And you may remember previously in Arial, if you used it, that you couldn't edit the description or some of that information. Once you submitted the revision or the mod or style, it was pretty much done. So if you wanted to make a change, it was complicated. So now Titania makes it where you can edit, and any co-author can edit information about a contribution at any time. And this helps to allow, the authors and co-authors to keep a check on their mod and contributions. So if there's something that has changed and they want to change the description, if they want to update a link, add a screenshot, you can do it, and it's not restricted in that way. Also, each contribution has its own support and FAQ sections. We feel that this is an upgrade from Arial especially, and it can be very helpful to the authors, because now if they want to post, for example, known issues for a mod, they can use the FAQ section and create a new FAQ article and list all of those known issues, and hopefully the users will check into the FAQ before posting a support topic, and they will see that, and that will answer them, saving everyone some time. Also, there's now a support and discussion section for each contribution. Previously, Arial had auto-posted a new topic for each mod and style in the mod releases form or styles releases form, and that one topic was supposed to sustain all support for the entire contribution, and the author would get the third post in the topic to put known issues, anything, bugs, and anything, information, installation notes, and that would be all they got. Then support continued just in that topic. Now with Titania, you can use the FAQ feature to post issues or installation notes. You can post sticky topics. It's almost like your own form for support for your contribution. It definitely helps authors and it helps users, and it makes things much more organized. And there's also some automation that is included with Arial. When you submit, thank you. Titania. Too busy thinking about Arial. When you submit a new revision, it's automatically checked for the author of the revision of the contribution by the MPV, which is the mod pre-validator. And if you're submitting a mod, this is what it would go through first, and it'll return errors and notices about the mod, so that you can get an idea of what's wrong with it or what needs to be fixed, so then you can go back and fix that yourself. It does the same with AutoMod. It runs the contribution through AutoMod as well, and you can see if it's a successful installation or if there are any issues with it. If there are issues with it, then the author can go and go fix those on his or her own. That saves the validator's time. That also saves the author's time. And I'm going to hand this over to Nathan now to discuss the other topics.
Hello, everybody. All right. One second. How do you start it up again? Double click. All right. The original design, when we thought out Titania, was to make everything as reusable as possible. I've come from background of writing things like the user blog mod, which is insane, basically. And a lot of code that I wrote originally for the user blog mod had to be rewritten again in Titania, which was pretty much a waste of my time. And so with Titania, we went out to actually build it so things would be usable again in another project if we went to build it. Okay, and it's not. It was designed to not require edits in phpBB, which is kind of nice, seeing how big it is. Most mods will require a lot of edits of that size, at least. And it was also thought ahead of time. Well, at the time it was designed, it was written for 3.2. Sorry, the plans for 3.2 were released, and well, once we saw that, we figured that there's no easy way Titania would be workable for 3.0 and 3.2 going on the standard way we wrote mods. So we went around and tried to make it so Titania would still work for 3.2 with very minimal modification. And well, now that that whole design has changed, it still works out good. And then hooks. We went to, one of the plans was to allow board owners to be able to modify Titania quite easily and not have to worry about updates, because we really did not want to provide like an update script like phpBB does, because that would have been a bit of a headache for a database. So we added a ton of hooks, and you can do just about anything with them that you really want to. Then there is reusability. We built Titania to be standalone, unlike Arial was, which was integrated pretty much into .com only. And that made it so every site that wanted to have its own database had to basically build their own database, which was not a nice thing to do, I'm sure, for the others. And so we designed it to be a standalone application, basically, just needing phpBB, and allow them to use that instead. And we've released it on CodeForge, so you can get all the code. It's pretty easy to install, and takes really less time than phpBB to install. And I think that's all. Yes?
I think one question a lot of people have asked, by giving each contribution its own forum-like area for support, does it actually do that on its own system, or does it make like invisible phpBB forums itself? How exactly does that work behind the scenes?
Yeah, it uses its own. Okay, does Titania use like the phpBB forms for its backend for posts, or does it use its own system? And it does use its own system, and well, that was the big headache of rewriting everything I've written in the past for. Yeah, it's completely standalone, so it doesn't really modify anything in phpBB or hook into it to abuse it.
However, we do use the back end for the queues, which I'm sure you worked on the mod team before, right? Before Arial?
Before Arial.
Okay, well, there are queues, discussion queues we have with the authors, and that is still kind of shared with the forum. It just kind of duplicates this stuff from Titania, so that we can keep the tabs of what authors are asking and so on and so forth, so they don't get ignored by accident.
Yes, at the request of the mod and styles team, we used the hooks to copy posts that were created in Titania in the queue and the queue discussion topics and propagate them over to the forms they had previously used. Anything else? All right.